Captain Zareth stared at his screen with tired eyes. Another empty day in deep space. Another shift of finding nothing. He had been doing this job for 3 years now, and every day felt the same. His ship, the Silent Observer, was a small galactic scout vessel. Its mission was simple but boring, mapped the empty parts of space that nobody cared about. "Captain, we are ready for the next jump," said his navigator, Plix. The young alien was new to the crew, only 6 months on the job. Plix had bright green skin and 4 arms that moved too fast when he was nervous. "Good. Set coordinates for Sector 447B," Zareth ordered. He took a sip of his cold beverage. It tasted terrible, but it kept him awake. Plix worked on the navigation computer, his 4 arms typing quickly on different keyboards. Numbers filled the screen. Then he pressed the big blue button. The ship hummed. Space twisted around them. In 3 seconds, they jumped across 50 light years. When the jump finished, Zareth expected to see the usual empty black space with some distant stars. Maybe a few rocks floating around. That was all he ever found in this job. But something was wrong. The ship's alarm started screaming. Red lights flashed everywhere. The computer made loud beeping sounds. Zareth jumped out his chair, his heart beating fast. "What's happening?" he shouted. Plix looked at his screen, and his green face turned pale. "Captain, I think I made a mistake. The coordinates, I entered them wrong. We jumped to the wrong place." Zareth wanted to be angry, but then he saw what was on the main screen, and he forgot how to breathe. A planet, a beautiful blue and green planet, hanging in space like a precious jewel. White clouds swirled across its surface. Oceans reflected the light from a nearby yellow star. It looked perfect. It looked alive. "Impossible," Zareth whispered. In 10,000 years of galactic exploration, the advanced species had found many planets. But planets with life were extremely rare. Maybe 1 in every million planets had simple bacteria. Planets with complex life were even more rare. And planets with intelligent life? The galaxy had only found 847 species in its entire history. But this planet was different. Very different. "Captain, sensors are detecting something strange," said his science officer, Venka. She was an old alien with silver skin and wise eyes. She had been exploring space longer than Zareth had been alive. "What is it?" Zareth asked. "Signals. Thousands of them. Radio waves. Television broadcasts. Digital communications. They are coming from the planet's surface." Venka's voice shook. "Captain, this planet has technology. Advanced technology." Zareth felt his hand start to shake. This was impossible. Finding a new intelligent species was the rarest thing in the universe. It happened maybe once every 1,000 years. And he just stumbled onto one by accident? "How advanced?" he asked. Venka worked on her computer, analyzing the signals. Her face became more shocked with each second. "Captain, they have satellites. Hundreds of them orbiting the planet. They have nuclear power. They have computers. They have space stations. They even have probes exploring their own solar system." The entire bridge went silent. Every crew member stared at the planet on the screen. "How long?" Zareth asked quietly. "How long did it take them to reach this level?" Venka checked her readings twice. 3 times. She did not believe her own instruments. "Captain, according to biological scans, this species evolved approximately 200,000 years ago. Maybe less." "That's impossible," Plix shouted. "It took my species 8 million years to develop basic technology. The Vex Empire needed 12 million years. Nobody develops this fast." But the sensors did not lie. Zareth stared at the planet, and for the first time in his life, he felt real fear. "Send down a probe," he ordered. "I need to see them. I need to see what these creatures look like." The probe launched from the ship. It was small and invisible, designed for secret observation. It entered the planet's atmosphere and flew over the surface. The camera turned on. What Zareth saw made his blood run cold. Cities. Massive cities with billions of creatures living in them. Flying machines filling the skies. Roads connecting everything. Lights covering entire continents. Ships crossing the oceans. And the creatures themselves, they walked on two legs, had two arms, and looked fragile and weak. But they built all of this in just 200,000 years. Contact the Galactic Council, Zareth said, his voice serious. Tell them we found something. Something that changes everything. Plix looked scared. Captain, what do we call them? What is this species? Zareth looked at the data file. The probe had intercepted their communications. The creatures called themselves by one name. Humans, he said. They call themselves humans. And somehow, Zareth knew that the galaxy would never be the same again. The Galactic Council chamber was filled with noise. Representatives from 847 species gathered together for an emergency meeting. This had not happened in 500 years. Elder Mothka stood at the center. She was 4,000 years old and had seen many things in her life. But today, even she looked worried. Silence, she commanded. The chamber went quiet. You all know why we are here. Captain Zareth discovered a new species. But this is not a normal discovery. The hologram activated. Images of Earth appeared in the air. Cities with tall buildings. Rockets launching into space. Nuclear power plants. Satellites orbiting the planet. The council members gasped. Some stood up in shock. Others made sounds of disbelief. How is this possible? Shouted Ambassador Keltor from the ancient Vex Empire. His species was one of the oldest in the galaxy. They achieved all this in only 200,000 years. The sensors do not lie, Elder Mothka replied. These humans developed faster than any species in galactic history. A military commander from the Zix Collective stood up. His armor was black and covered in weapons. Then they're dangerous. Very dangerous. We must destroy them before they become a threat. No! Another voice shouted. It was Dr. Venare, a peaceful scientist. We should study them. Learn from them. Understand how they did this. The council chamber erupted into arguments. Some species wanted war. Others wanted peace. But everyone felt the same emotion deep inside. Fear. Enough. Elder Mothka raised her hand. We will vote. Should we make contact, or should we destroy them? The voting began. After 10 minutes, the results appeared. Contact, 423 votes. Destroy, 424 votes. 1 vote difference. Elder Mothka closed her eyes. Then we will observe first. Send a secret team. Watch the humans. Learn about them. Then we decide their fate. But in her heart, she already knew the truth. The galaxy had just met its biggest challenge. Humanity. Dr. Venare's observation ship hid behind Earth's moon. For 6 months, her team watched the humans. What they saw made no sense at all. Look at this, said her assistant, showing a video. A human was jumping out of a flying aircraft with only a piece of cloth to slow his fall. They call it skydiving. They do it for fun. Dr. Venare could not believe it. Fun? They risked death for fun. The team found more crazy examples. Humans climbed tall mountains where the air was too thin to breathe. They went into deep oceans in tiny metal boxes. They kept dangerous animals called dogs and cats in their homes. They even ate spicy food that burned their mouths. And they smiled while doing it. These creatures are insane, said another scientist. Every intelligent species avoids danger. Humans run toward it. But the most shocking discovery came from human history files. Dr. Venare studied their past, and her hands started shaking. Just 10,000 years ago, humans were simple farmers. They had no cities, no technology, nothing. Then everything changed. Fast. They invented writing, then mathematics, then machines, then electricity, then computers, then nuclear weapons, all in just 10,000 years. Look at this, Dr. Venare showed her team. They fought 2 massive global wars. Millions died. They almost destroyed their entire planet with nuclear weapons. So they learned peace? Her assistant asked. No, Dr. Venare whispered. They learned to build bigger weapons, but they chose not to use them. They chose to explore space instead. She wrote her final report to the Galactic Council. Her hand shook as she typed the last sentence. Humans are the most dangerous species we ever found, not because they are strong, but because they never give up. They never stop trying. They never accept defeat. I do not know if we should fear them or admire them. Maybe both. Junior observer Plix was having a bad day. Actually, it was about to become the worst day of his entire life. He was doing a routine scan of Earth's communication systems. His job was simple: watch and record, but never interact. Never let the humans know they were being watched. But Plix made a terrible mistake. He set the scanning beam power too high. Way too high. On Earth, at a radio telescope facility in California, alarms started ringing. Scientists ran to their computers. Dr. Sarachin stared at her screen with wide eyes. "This is not natural," she whispered. "This is an artificial signal. This is alien." Within 1 hour, every government on Earth knew. Within 3 hours, the news spread across the entire planet. Within 6 hours, the world changed forever. Humans did not panic. They did not hide. They did something the Galactic Council never expected. They got excited. World leaders held emergency meetings. Scientists worked together across all countries. Engineers built new equipment. Everyone had the same question: how we talk back. In the observation ship, Dr. Venare watched this with pure shock. They detected us, and they're not afraid. They want to meet us. She immediately contacted the Galactic Council. Elder Mothka's face appeared on the screen, looking very worried. "What do we do?" Dr. Venare asked. "Humans know we exist now. They are trying to communicate." The council held an emergency session. The debate lasted 3 full days. Some species said destroy Earth immediately. Others said run away and never return. A few brave ones said something different. "Maybe we should talk to them," Ambassador Keltor suggested. "We already made contact by accident. Running away now seems foolish." The military commander was angry. "This is insane. A species without fear is the most dangerous thing in the universe." Elder Mothka raised her hand for silence. "We vote now. Should we make official first contact with humanity?" The votes came in slowly. Every species was scared. But finally, the decision was made. Yes, first contact would happen. Ambassador Keltor was chosen to lead the mission. As he prepared his ship, he recorded a private message to his family. "I am about to meet the humans. If something goes wrong, if I do not return, remember this: I met the bravest species in the galaxy, or the craziest. I am still not sure which one." His ship left the council station and headed toward Earth. History was about to be made. The date was March 15th, 2035. Humans will remember this day forever. Ambassador Keltor's ship appeared in the sky over New York City. It was massive, 3 times bigger than any human building. The ship was silver and glowed with blue lights. It hovered silently above Central Park. Millions of humans gathered on the streets below. Cameras from every nation pointed at the sky. The entire world was watching. Inside the ship, Keltor checked his translator device one more time. His 3 hearts were beating so fast he thought they might explode. He had met 846 species in his long life, but humans scared him more than all of them combined. "Are you ready, Ambassador?" his pilot asked. "No," Keltor answered honestly, "but we do this anyway." A ramp extended from the ship to the ground. Keltor walked down slowly. He was tall, almost 8 feet, with purple skin and 4 eyes. He wore formal council robes that showed his rank. At the bottom of the ramp, human leaders waited. The President of the United States, the Secretary General of the United Nations, and scientists from every country. A human woman stepped forward. She was small, maybe 5.5 feet tall. She had dark skin and kind eyes. She smiled and extended her hand. "Welcome to Earth," she said. "I am President Maria Santos. We are so happy to meet you." Keltor had studied human customs. He knew this gesture. A handshake meant peace and friendship. With a shaking hand, he reached out and touched her palm. "I am Ambassador Keltor of the Galactic Council," he said. "I bring greetings from 847 species across the galaxy." The crowd of humans erupted in cheers. They clapped and shouted with joy. Keltor was confused. Every other species he met showed fear first. Humans showed excitement. Over the next week, humans showed Keltor everything. Their cities, their technology, their art and music. They showed him their history. The good parts and the bad parts. The wars, the disasters, the struggles. Most species hid their failures. Humans showed everything proudly. A young human reporter asked a question that changed everything. Ambassador, are we alone? Are there others like us out there? Keltor took a deep breath. There are 847 species in the galaxy, but none like you. You are the youngest, the fastest growing, and the most unpredictable species we ever found. He expected humans to feel small or scared. Instead, they smiled bigger. Can we join? A human scientist asked. Can we explore the galaxy with you? Can we learn from the other species? Keltor realized something in that moment. Something terrifying and wonderful. The Galactic Council thought they discovered humanity. But humanity was about to discover the galaxy. And nothing would ever be the same. 5 years passed since first contact. The galaxy learned a hard truth. Humans did not follow the rules. When humans joined the Galactic Council, every species expected them to be quiet and learn slowly. New species always took hundreds of years to understand galactic society. Humans took 6 months. Then they started asking questions. Difficult questions. Why do you use this old energy system? A human engineer named David asked the Vex Empire. It wastes 60% of power. We can fix that. The Vex laughed. Their power system was 50,000 years old. No one could improve it. David fixed it in 3 weeks. A human diplomat named Ambassador can stop the war between 2 species. They had been fighting for 12,000 years over a border dispute. She made both leaders sit in a room and talk. She told them jokes. She made them laugh. They forgot why they were fighting. The war ended. Human doctors found cures for diseases that killed billions. Human teachers started schools that taught alien children new ways to think. Human artists created music that made ancient species cry with emotion. The Galactic Council did not know what to do with humans. They broke every tradition. They questioned everything. They improved things that were perfect for millions of years. Then the Devourers came. They were an ancient enemy from outside the galaxy. Massive ships that destroyed planets and ate everything. They had attacked before 100,000 years ago. The galaxy barely survived. Now they returned, and they were stronger. Every species prepared for defeat. The military fleets gathered, but everyone knew the truth. They could not win. Except humans refused to believe that. We don't accept defeat, Admiral Jackson told the Council. We never have. We never will. Humans did what they always do. They created new weapons from old ideas. They invented new tactics that made no sense, but somehow worked. They took crazy risks that should have failed but succeeded. More importantly, they inspired others. The Vex Empire remembered how to be brave. The Zix Collective learned to think differently. Even the peaceful species picked up weapons and fought back. Together, united for the first time in galactic history, they won. After the battle, Elder Mothka stood before the Council. She was now 4,100 years old and very tired. I was wrong about humans, she admitted. We thought they were dangerous. We were right. But dangerous does not mean evil. Humans are dangerous to problems, to limits, to the word impossible. They teach us something we forgot. What is that? Ambassador Keltor asked. Elder Mothka smiled. Hope. They teach us hope. Captain Zareth, now retired, watched from his home. Human ships and alien ships flew together into unknown space, exploring new worlds. He laughed. I made a navigation mistake 5 years ago. Best mistake I ever made. The galaxy learned a simple truth that day. Humans did not ask permission to be great. They just decided to try. And that changed everything.